of the movie where she was practicing being a superhero. One of the things that didn't quite make it into the movie but they intended to do was teach her how to ride ants and built her own tiny little kid Ant-Man costume. So at one point there was like an 11, 12-year-old Cassie Lang being full-blown stature in an Ant-Man costume with Pym particles flying at tiny size. We all heard Kevin Feige talk about the Young Avengers movie that they're planning on doing in the future and how we have crazy time travel alternate universe theories going on in Avengers 4. There was the casting notice for an older version of Cassie Lang that would have been, say, 16, 17, implying a bit of a time jump during Avengers 4 at some point. And then Janet Van Dyne, at the very end in that post-credit scene, says, "Oh, and by the way, watch out for time vortices. They're all over the place." You know what that means is they wouldn't have included that line of dialogue if it wasn't going to be critical to the plot. Otherwise, they would have stopped her throat at that joke about him being eaten by tardigrades. Just watch out for them, they're dangerous. So if you ever wondered about movies like this, they don't throw out lines of technical jargon like that in a serious way without it actually meaning something to the plot or future plots, the way these movies are tied together. In most of the post-credit scenes foreshadow what's happening in future movies. This is obviously foreshadowing Avengers 4 because of the snap moment at the end. Now that we've seen both of these movies too, we can also say that Doctor Strange, because time travel was such a big concept that they introduced with the way that Thanos used the gauntlet to reverse the damage to Vision so that he could take the mind gem. Doctor Strange's 1 in 14 million plan that would allow them to ultimately defeat Thanos, playing the long snap game. This is a long game, remember. He knew that they would all have to die for this to happen, but that also means that he saw the plot of Avengers 4 and what Tony would end up doing, why Tony was so important. That's why he didn't let him die. That's what that whole scene about them arguing on the Black Order ship was about. I will not hesitate to let you and the kid die if it comes down to you or the stone.
We go to him. You have to understand. If it comes to saving you, or the kid, or the time stone, I will not hesitate to let either of you die. I can't, because the universe depends on it.
So he was ready to let Iron Man die until he saw that 1 in 14 million plan that Iron Man was critical for. So he knew that he needed to survive, and he very calmly and quickly gave up the time stone. Like Iron Man didn't know what was going on because he didn't explain what the plan was that he foresaw. Just that Doctor Strange knew what was going on and knew that he didn't need to put up a fight at that point. Like, this is all part of the plan, so just give it up, make it look like we're bowing in submission so it looks like Thanos is winning. And because Thanos was in such a hurry to assemble all the gems and form the gauntlet, he didn't bother to use the time stone the same way that Doctor Strange did, because if he had taken a couple minutes, he could have actually used the time to see into his own future and see what was going to happen during these future movies. The reason why I think that they would want to include a future version of Cassie Lang and show stature future Avengers or Young Avengers, however you want to think about them, because she'd still be 16 years old, same age as Spider-Man.